This is Radio Free Cybertron, episode 693. I am Brian Kilby. With me this week, I have Chris. Thanks for covering last week.
Yeah, whatever.
We also have Rob.
Hello.
Diecast.
Hey, everybody.
Don, who's muted. And if you're watching the video, tfradio.net/live, you can actually see that Don has muted himself. It's pretty cool. We also have Unknown, a.k.a. Matt, a.k.a. Melvar.
Hi.
And John DeLuna, who you can see is here. And he unmuted himself. So it's just like a meeting from Teams at work. You can hear like somebody being talked about, and they unmute their microphone, and then people move away, and they go back to mute. It's just
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a professional,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah, so, it is what it is. Hey, yeah, but I wasn't here last week. Thank you very much for covering it again, Chris. I was sick. These darn kids.
Yes, I had all of like 2 minutes to prepare for the role.
Yeah, but what do you have to do to prepare, really?
Read the show notes, basically.
Yeah, I don't even do that.
I know.
I do that. So, let's see here. I'm going to start coughing now. I need to not laugh. Let's see here. Just before we start, I have to say, I went to my, I'm in the basement now, not the temp office, and I've just decided to forgo that. I'm going to be in the basement. And once we finish the other room, which I'm trying to figure out how I want to do that, which is back there, we'll move into the actual office space. But this is just the main room in the basement. But it sounds okay. I actually... Since I put up blinds and a curtain, it's actually kind of homey. Kind of want to live here, just me and the cats. So it's like the old
quiet down
it's
here.
like the old days where the cats used to come in and out during the show and poop right before I start, doing the show.
I thought you were going to say it's like the old days when you used to live at the radio station.
I had cats then too, yeah. But yeah, so it's kind of nice. Went to the grocery store, the neighborhood grocery store for the first time today. I'm going to open it right now. Found a nice glass bottle of Dr. Pepper.
Oh,
Nice.
So I'm going to drink that during the show. So
Real
It
sugar?
should be cheer
Yes.
wine. It'd be better if it was cheer wine.
Yeah, but I have cheer wine more regularly.
I mean, like, no question. Like, cheerwine's a fun thing to have, but like a real sugar Dr. Pepper in a
It's
glass
delicious.
bottle, like, right now to me that sounds like the height of luxury.
It's pretty awesome. Yeah, so.
Now, to be fair, my life is, kind of sad on a daily basis, so your mileage may vary, but, like, to me, that's something to aspire to right now.
Yeah.
I feel this.
So, let's see here. A lot of stuff going on. Hey, we've had several new patrons join in the last week or two. Thank you guys so much. You're awesome. Patreon.com/tfradio. Help us out. It's how we keep things afloat. And we would very much appreciate your support. And still lots of stuff coming out of pocket. So, hey, tfradio.net/Patreon or patreon.com/tfradio. Help us out. Amazon.
Also buy a shirt.
Also buy a shirt. Amazon's not doing what it used to do.
No.
Not at all.
No, for some reason, around March or April, they decided to, like, cut all of the affiliate referral fees. I don't know. There's something going on. Like, people are buying, like, 10 times as much stuff on Amazon.
Yeah,
I guess they just... Yeah, it doesn't really make sense.
No, I don't have no idea.
Amazon moves in mysterious ways. tfradio.net/Patreon. Please, and thank you.
So, let's see here. Another advantage of being here in the basement is I'm now hardwired, where the last couple weeks it was over Wi-Fi. And toward the end of the show, we dropped, which caused a major pain. So hopefully we won't have that this week. What else? Anything else? PulseCon's going on this weekend. If any news actually happens from it, we'll share.
Well, it's one of the show note topics. We do know what the PulseCon Transformers panels are.
Yeah. Kingdom Reveals is the one we are most interested in. Now, I have to say, I'm really shocked. Not shocked. Shocked's not the right word. Surprised is probably better. How many people are, like, really into the panels that they're going to have with, like, Peter Cullen and folks like that. And it just goes to show that people really do like guests. They really do like those things, even if we've seen them a million times. There's an audience for
Well,
that.
and I think it probably changes the landscape a little bit too, because like it's not a physical thing you have to actually like travel and go to and sit in a crowded room. It's it's the same kind of content being streamed to the comfort of your own home that you can watch freely. So like people who would be interested in that otherwise but can't make the trip or whatever to actually go and enjoy that content, they're now getting the chance. So I think we're seeing a lot more response from that.
Yeah. So that's pretty awesome.
Plus, those of us like myself who've been to a lot of conventions.
Don's loud.
Yes, Don has been to a lot of conventions, and it sounds like he's off to one right now. So we'll check in with Don again in a few minutes when his connection stabilizes.
Hey guys,
No,
I also have.
I'm back.
I have a first. Tell me, Brian, is this a first for the show?
Yes,
So
it
what
is.
I'm giving up in sound quality, I'm giving in a live toy hunt. So during the show, I'm going to be hunting toys. Now, I'll tell you if I'm successful or not before the end of the show.
Oh,
What are you
wow.
hunting?
So I've got two choices here. I could put my faith in pre-orders on Walmart.com.
Then don't do that. That would be a bad move.
That's choice number one. Choice number two is if you pay attention on Twitter, we're starting to see some pretty consistent sightings of the retro GI Joes in Walmart.
Oh, yeah.
So off I go, boys.
Good luck.
Speed.
The Red Collection toys are also starting to hit Walmarts, at least like on the West Coast, but they'll be making their way east before too long, I'm sure.
Cool.
I'm sure well before Walmart.com ships them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how are those pre-orders going, Diecast?
They're still not. They're still not coming.
So I have a thought on that. So Skylinks hit with no problems at all. You know, if you pre-ordered them, you got them right when you were supposed to. But like nothing else has. No Siege, no nothing. It seems like anything that they actually sell on the shelves is what you're having problems with. But Skylinks, since a lot of Walmarts don't carry that, don't have a spot for it on the shelves, all of that went to online orders.
Possible.
Yeah, I think you
makes
might be onto
sense.
something.
I think that's very smart.
Smart. Very smart. Yeah. Cool. John, yeah, keep us updated. I know that the G.I. Joe retro stuff, the figures are showing up. Are the vehicles, like the Ostriker and whatever else is going?
I don't think so, but I have started to see one or two random eBay auctions, so it's pretty close.
Cool. Very cool. Okay. We're not doing it, but part of me wants to make a big deal out of PulseCon and do like a live stream to go along with it. We're not going to.
I was wondering if we should like try to do like a wrap up thing on Saturday.
We could.
Yeah, because I'm only doing
available
45
all
minutes or an
Saturday.
hour.
Yeah, we could do that. We'll find. Let's pencil that in. We'll figure out some time to do it.
I even took off Friday for PulseCon, but there's
I
not
blocked my
really
calendar for it, and I'm finding that was fruitless.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit.
Cool. Hey, anything else?
Well, I just want to remind anybody who might be watching live right now through the YouTube channel or tfradio.net/live and somehow doesn't know about our Discord channel, they should come to tfradio.net/Discord and hang out and chat with us because, like, for the most part, that's the only chat interface we actually pay much attention to.
I'm looking at the YouTube chat, but I'm only typically responding. Yes, action figure expert, just like the movie, The Office Space. Ha ha ha! I love that movie. But yeah, so tfradio.net/Discord. You don't have to install anything. You can chat right from the browser. Yeah. Also, let's see here. So I have been horribly backlogged with things due to the move. So we didn't do an RFC throwback for August. So my goal is to do 2 this month, to get one in, or to get 2 in the next week or two. And we also need to do, for the regular feed, it's been a while since we've done It's a Dawn Deal, so we'll talk to Dawn and figure that out. But with that being said, so just as a reminder, if you watch us live either on our Roku channel, on Amazon, the Fire Stick or whatever, you'll notice that the video looks different. We're using a different platform than Skype. We've been doing it for about a month at this point, and it affects the way it looks a little bit. Now everybody's on screen, whether they have video going or not. But more importantly, it's changed how the show sounds a little bit. We find that the audio quality is better with this than it was with Skype, which is important, being that about half of our folks have bandwidth considerations that we have to work through. And
Garbage internet.
and the audio quality is better with this, and for the most part, less lag, except for Don, whose lag is, we got to figure it out. Poor Don.
His lag is hardware based, not connection based.
Yeah,
I'm like 99% sure.
So we're gonna.
I'm thinking. Yeah.
We're gonna get that fixed with Don. But so everybody, it's snappier, except for poor Don. But his video looks great.
Actually, I think it's frozen right now.
Not on this end.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I can see him
People
moving.
go on Don's eBay page and buy some Baronesses. He might be able to buy a computer.
I'm sorry, Don. Oh, okay. I'm gonna share. So we have like an active sort of like, hey, can you grab this for me? Can you grab this for me? Sort of thing, and we try to get stuff for us. And Diecast and I both asked Don, if you see a Baroness, get it for us. It's like, well, I've got a couple on eBay. And I don't blame him. I
No.
don't blame him. I'll say go for like $1
No, I
million.
don't.
So he's just giving Don a hard time. We love you, Don.
That's the only reason we give Don a hard time. If we didn't love Don, we wouldn't even bother.
No.
Truth.
Yeah. Hard times. Okay.
Like, I think every group of people has one or more of that friend where, like, you know, you love them, they're fun to rib on, and just, like, nothing really bad's meant by it.
Reach out.
Oh,
to me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Any of us. Just to follow up on the Patreon content thing. So you've been a little delinquent, but there will be this weekend, if Brian puts it up when I give it to him, a new episode of that one episode of Star
Heck
Trek.
yeah. Which episode did you cover?
The Child, the first episode of Next Generation Season
wow.
2.
Wow.
Ah.
And Brian almost just choked when he heard what episode we did.
Yeah.
Huh? Mandalorian?
It's, you know what? I think we went through that whole thing without doing a Baby Yoda joke.
Wow.
I don't think it even occurred to us at the time. The podcast for it turned out pretty interesting, and the episode itself has some qualities to it that kind of surprised all of us when we like stopped to pay attention to them. And I don't mean that in like a misleading, humorous way. Like, for real, there was things about it that, like, things I hadn't conceptualized in previous viewings that kind of struck me more watching it with a more critical mindset. I think it'll be a good podcast episode. And then on the 28th, the following Monday, if I remember to do it, the second episode of that one episode of Star Trek's Return, in the cards from Deep Space Nine, should go up for public consumption.
Nice.
I'm surprised you didn't do The Child in the first run of the podcast. It's just one of those episodes. It just seems like perfect for you guys.
I mean, you would think so, but like,
I don't
you know,
There are a lot of episodes of Star Trek, Brian.
I don't think I've watched that episode since since the original run. I'll be honest with you.
I don't
might
think
have
I
caught it
watched
in
that
reruns
episode.
once.
Yeah, I don't think I've watched the episode in a few years before doing it for the podcast.
It's
Like, it's not one of my go-to episodes for sure, but
Yeah.
it's literally been the 1990s since I watched it. I know it came out in the 80s. I'm sure it was the 90s when I watched it.
That was a leftover Star Trek Phase 2 script, wasn't it?
yes,
Yes, it was.
Who would have been the mother?
Ilea.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
yeah, because like with the reused scripts, you basically just have to think like they did search and replace for the characters that they
Names,
actually
yeah.
transplanted from the Phase 2 concept to Next Generation in the first place, and Troy and Riker are your lead two for that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really checking Amazon real quick to see if that Phase 2 book is available again to purchase.
Yeah, I don't have that either. I should probably try and get
Well,
it.
it's not up there.
We're going to be recording the 4th episode this coming week, and that's going to be Disaster from Next Generation Season 5.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's the episode where Riker carries Data's head around the ship.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And Picard is trapped in an elevator with children.
That
Yes.
may or may not have played a large part in our choosing to do that episode.
It's available from third-party sellers for $45.
That's a little much.
Yeah, that's more than I want to spend. Let me check eBay.
I will check
eBay.
eBay.
Yeah. Okay, who got anything this past week? Diecast, no. Okay, Don raised his hand first, actually. So Don,
Okay.
Don,
All
what'd you
right.
get?
Okay. One thing I got last week and forgot to talk about was I got my Reaction Devastator.
Oh, cool.
Oh, where'd you get that
And-
from?
I
Holy
got
crap,
it off eBay.
Oh wait, that's really. It looks way bigger than I expected.
Yeah, that looks to be a pretty decent size, actually.
Yeah.
Like
Um,
50, 75% bigger than a normal one.
Yeah. And normally the Reaction 5 points or whatever doesn't really work well for the characters. To me, they're too like Kenner. But for some reason, it really works on Devastator. This is kind of the closest I think we're going to get to that Devastator that we saw at TFCon, the one
Oh, yeah.
the one I bring up from time to time. As a matter of fact, I might try to track down a second one to open, but I mainly got this one. Just again, I love that Reaction card art. It's just such good looking card art. So I got that, and I got, like everybody else, I got Hubcap and Centurion. They came today.
Like everybody else. Who else
Well,
has?
I thought.
I don't have Centurion
I
yet.
don't have Centurion
Oh,
yet.
really?
No.
You mean I
I
got
do.
something first?
I have shipping notice, but I don't have the
Same.
figures in hand.
Oh, I thought I was behind the curve like always. Wow, I'm surprised I've got that. Yeah, so Hubcap and Centurion came today, and I also picked up two things. Continuing my KO pickup, some things I've been wanting. I
Theft.
picked up the KO of the LeBron Optimus Prime.
Good
Just
choice.
it's such a weird count. It's such a weird color scheme for Optimus, but I like it.
I can't. I'm so torn with that one because I wouldn't actually buy it. I wouldn't actually. I wouldn't pay what the real one goes for, so I can almost let that one slide, Don.
Yeah,
This is kind of the function that bootlegs and knockoffs and things tend to play in my life. If it's something I would never buy at full price because the full price is crazy, then I will do
yeah.
it.
And
'Cause
it's just
I am not costing anybody any money that way because, like I said, they'd never have gotten it for what they were asking.
right. And like I said, when I get my collector's room done and everything's finally fixed, I want to have a shelf of just these special Optimuses.
Don?
I wanted that.
Wait, Don. So this is probably too inside baseball, but which room are you going to use as your collector's room?
the bathroom.
my old bedroom. It's the bigger of the two rooms, so
Okay.
I'll be able to once I
You got
dismantle
to move
my old.
all the blankets with all the toys underneath them.
Well, where are you going to sleep then, Don? If you're using your
Let's not.
bedroom,
That is too inside
That's
baseball
too-
diecast, but thanks
yeah.
for playing our game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and another thing I picked up was I've already got this figure, but I got a really good deal from a seller, a seller off eBay that I've dealt with a lot before. I got another Ecto Optimus Prime that was no box, 100% complete for $120 shipped.
Wow.
Nice.
So yeah,
Are
so
you sure
this
that's
way
not a knockoff?
No, it's legit. Because this seller I trust the seller, and so I went ahead and got this. So this one I can have on display. Because I'll be honest, I hated buying a second one. I wanted to because that box is just so nice. I really didn't want to open it, but I knew I'd have to eventually to get it out. But this way, I can have one on display. And then I can keep that one in the box just because the box is so nice as the Proton Pack. And for those people that weren't here, I did some Dynanomics. I talked about this in pre-show, but the Masterpiece Starscream that went on clearance at Target, I was able to return it, rebuy it for the clearance price, and then since I saved the $80+ on that, I was able to use that to purchase on my Target card the Pit of Judgment set at Pulse today.
Was
So
the-
basically,
Was the person at Target that processed that? They're like, "You're a smart cookie." How did that actually go?
no. I went yesterday and saw they had dropped in price.
Was it like the old Circuit City commercial where the kid puts like the thing he got on the counter and said, "Last week I got this, and today I saw this."
Oh yeah, the Walkman commercial. I remember that. No, it's. I talked to the toy manager. She knows me, and I mentioned that I bought it not that long ago, and it was a significant price drop. And I talked to one of the floor managers. He said, as long as you've got your receipt, and just no problem. So I went up there today, told him that. They refunded it. Then I rebought it at the lower price. Went out to my car, got on the phone, went to Hasbro Pulse, picked up the Pit of Judgment set. So basically, I got Masterpiece Starscream and the Pit of Judgment set for $150.
Nice. Very cool, Don. That's awesome.
And John DeLuna commented in our internal chat, legend.
Cool.
And I'll be honest, I do have some more both legit and KO stuff coming. It just didn't make it today, so hopefully by next week I'll have. I'm sorry. I'm just these because I had that $25.
It's fine, Don. We're just having fun.
I know. I had that
At your
$25
expense.
coupon. Yeah, I had that $25 coupon from eBay, so I went ahead and bought with what I had some other sales and stuff. I thought I got all the stuff that I really been putting off not getting because I figured, okay, I'll just get all at one time, get it all free shipping, and then there. So yeah,
Cool.
that's
Awesome.
that's what I got.
Okay, I'll go next.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Thanks.
Okay, so I will start with off topic. So this is the third or fourth iteration of the Halo Cyclops armor in Mega Construx. And every time they do it, it gets a little bit more elaborate. This one is, I think, almost 2 years old now. A Burke's Outlet, which is a southeast closeout chain, kind of like a sadder TJ Maxx, if
Yeah,
you can
that's
imagine such a thing. Had this for $10. This is my second one of these. I got one on clearance at Target around January, I think, for 13 or 14. And 13 or 14, I was pretty happy with it. So to get a second one for 10, I actually went looking because Burke's was supposed to have closeout Siege stuff, and I'm still trying to track down a cheap spare Mirage for when all the clear plastic breaks on the one I have, because it will. It will. But no luck on that account, unfortunately. So then, besides that, I got something. I went a little bit older. So I was feeling some withdrawal because I haven't been able to go, visit Hey Mickey and do the antique mall thing and find Star Trek figures. So I bought some old Star Trek figures. So I got this is Troy in standard uniform, as seen in season 6 and onward. So this was produced in 1994, 1995, somewhere around there. It's one of the later series of figures. And then, of course, I couldn't get a Troy without getting Troy's mom.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And, the likeness on Troy's mom is actually surprisingly good. Like, the Playmate sculpts are not bad per se, but, from the early-ish 90s, they're not, the most, photorealistic things around, but, they actually did pretty good getting Majel Barrett's face to look right.
Nice.
And then, for reasons, I also got a standard the Cisco. This is, first few seasons uniform, no goatee. They actually did re-release Cisco with the bald head and goatee, and I assume Captain's pips at that point, but I haven't actually looked that closely at that figure. But I needed a standard one for a specific purpose, which will become apparent at some later point.
You don't need a reason to own the Cisco.
But I have a reason to own the Cisco, and that's what's important. I have the Cisco from Trials and Tribulations, where he's in the TOS uniform.
Ah.
That wasn't really suitable for my purposes, though. Anyway, the good news is, even though I got those off of eBay, because I just had to have a Star Trek figure fix at this point, it's been so long, they still worked out to be about $6 each, which is perfectly within my comfort zone for carded Star Trek figures. And these are the package condition on these is way better than anything I've found in the comic book stores or the antique malls in general for that price. So I'm really pleased with that. It's almost a shame to open them, but I'm going to.
Hey, Chris, I
Yes.
got dropped your entire thing.
Oh.
Who did you get? Yeah, just who did you get? Just out of curiosity.
Okay, so I got standard uniform Troy.
Ooh.
Mhm.
And because I bought Troy, I bought Troy's mom also.
Waxana.
And I was commenting on what a good likeness to Major Barrett, the face sculpt,
Yeah,
is on that one.
That was really good for the time.
And a standard Cisco,
Oh, that's cool.
like first season uniform Cisco.
Nice.
Yeah. So that Deanna is like post.
Season
Jellicoe
6. Yeah, season 6 onward.
Yeah, when Jellicoe made her wear a uniform.
Which, I mean, somebody should have by that point. You know?
Well, it was Jellicoe. It doesn't
An
count.
improvement.
It was Jellicoe.
It was
Jellicoe
an
was
improvement.
awesome.
It was an improvement, and probably like Marina Sirtis probably thought it was an improvement too, actually being able to wear like normal
definitely.
clothes
It's
like
just-
everybody else.
It's just Jellicoe sucks.
Well,
Don't
agree to
make me
disagree,
destroy you,
Don.
Don.
Yeah. You'll have to destroy us all because he's right.
So I believe I can move on to on-topic stuff now. So I got Generation Select's Hot House.
Nice.
So like there's not any physical differences from Airwave, so I'm not going to go into too much detail here. The important thing is that they did put the fire station tampo on in the correct orientation for the base mode.
Hooray!
He is not an upside down fire station unless you purposely set him out to be one, which you can sort of do, kind of. The colors are really nice, though. I posted a couple of photos of this from my phone on Twitter right after I got it and had some comments about how the colors looked a lot better than the stock photos, and I tend to agree.
Cool.
The red is not super saturated, and the orange is a little bit muted, but not like overly so. It doesn't look like not orange anymore. And the particular shade of blue, I cannot describe it as anything other than like the blue that's on Diatlas. Because I don't have anything else that has that same shade of blue. But it's really nice looking. All the fit and everything is good in hand. Like it's pretty satisfying. And the same way it was between Ironworks and Grease Pit, the contrast between this and Airwave from the kind of drab scheme to really bright and saturated one is very striking and kind of makes a pleasant distinction between them.
Now, is he shipping early or?
That's from Entertainment Earth, so
Oh, okay.
it just
All right.
depends where you got it.
Okay.
Let's see.
So, just real quick.
Yeah,
this
that's
is this is the first time in a couple years. It's about 2017 when the cats have been in here with me as I do the podcast, so I wasn't paying attention. I felt like my leg got headbutted and like scared the crap out of me. And that's kind of calming. Hey, buddy. Sorry.
well, isn't that how a cat is supposed to work? Like first they scare the crap out of you, and then they're calming.
yeah,
It's pretty much the cat ownership experience right there.
pretty much.
Okay, so the last thing I got, which I mean, I'm assuming it's the last thing I got because I can't find anything else yet as I look around. Well, it's this. So I got Prowl, and of course, with Prowl comes an Ironhide.
Nice.
Oh,
Wait, what?
sweet.
How?
Yeah, I got the Autobot Alliance set. I make bad choices, Brian. Or very good choices, depending how you look at it.
I can do that
He
with my
figured
cat.
he was preemptively preparing for Amazon to cancel. He's a
Yeah.
wizard.
That's fair.
Diecast may not be entirely wrong. So Prowl feels a lot like Smokescreen did. I loved Smokescreen. I talked about that fairly extensively last week, so be sure to check out last week's show for more specific details. Interestingly, Prowl actually has one same issue that Smokescreen did where so I made reference last week to the tabs that hold the shoulders down, but the right side doesn't really grip strongly on Smokescreen, and it doesn't Prowl either. It's exactly the same, which I find odd that it would be like that, and it kind of makes me wonder if I've done something wrong in transforming both of them, but I can't see what. Yeah, it's that kind of confusing thing. And I may need to like handle Smokescreen some more to refresh my memory on what the transformation feels like, but Prowl feels like it's a little bit more of a push to get to actually like snap together in vehicle mode. The car roof doesn't seem to want to go quite as far up as on Smokescreen. It is a different hood piece, so there may be a slight fitting variance between the two versions of the toy that's causing that. And one downside of that, so on Smokescreen, where the front end sticks down farther, it kind of hides where the abdomen tab has the hollow spaces, but you can really plainly see them on Prowl. And then, of course, there's the light bar that pegs into the same 5mm port Smokescreen has. The red is opaque, but I don't really care. Like, it's fine for me. I'm not, like, big into clear plastic for the sake of clear plastic, especially after what happened to me earlier this week. Chris RTXV on Twitter, just go look
I'm
back
so
through my
sorry.
recent pictures. You'll see what I'm talking about.
It's heartbreaking.
Yes, I had a personal toy tragedy. And then a moment of silence followed by a moment of screaming.
Wait, shouldn't it be screaming followed by silence?
Well, no, because the moment of silence is the shock and disbelief as I'm trying to process what's just happened in front of me, and then that's followed by the "Ah!"
Yes, that moment of silence is just how long it takes to build up the scream.
Yeah, because depending on the severity of the scream, you have to inhale pretty sharply, and you may have to do that for a minute just to build up the oxygen level so you can let it all go at once. But yeah, apart from the card mode being a little bit harder to actually get seated down, it holds together actually a little bit better than Smokescreens, probably because some of those fittings are a little bit tighter in ways that are inconvenient for transformation, but they close the panels down a little bit more snugly. So, kind of column A, column B thing. There's no shoulder launchers with Prowl, which I knew ahead of time anyway. I kind of wish they would include them because that's a thing the toy had originally, and I kind of it feels like it's missing something when this is the only version that does not have that feature. And it does have Blue Streak's head, but in person, it doesn't stand out as not being specifically a Prowl head. So that's pretty much fine too. Ironhide I've elected to display or show off in vehicle mode because to me that's the most distinct difference between the two. The robot mode looks and feels much the same as Siege Ironhide, including the panel. So Ironhide and Siege had a thing where the shin panel would come off at the hinge pretty easily, and one of the panels on this one does the same thing. The other side doesn't, so I think it's just slightly malformed at the hinge joint. So that's probably not going to be a repeating occurrence, but I thought it was kind of funny. This one has a little bit more fitting problems than Prowl does. I looked at some pictures of other early in-hand samples, and so this one has a gap between the roof and the top of the windshield, which is not supposed to be there. So I examined it a little bit, and one of the shoulders had the rivet slightly misfired through it, so it's not aligned quite with the other one, so it's throwing everything a little bit out of whack. But that said, even though there's a little bit more pronounced gap than there should be, everything comes together really solidly, which kind of surprised me. So what Ironhide is, it's the core engineering of Siege Ironhide and a lot of the same parts, I'm pretty sure. I have not actually got Siege Ironhide out to check detail for detail against each other. But it's all the same core elements of Siege Ironhide, literally just with new Earth van panels slapped around it and a big truck or van roof hat. Let me see if I can get this off. So the good news is the roof topper is really snug on there. It pegs in at 4 different places. Okay. So once you get that on there, that's not going anywhere. Unfortunately, if you want this to be like the battle platform from the G1 toy, you're not exactly getting that out of this. It's more like a battle sled minus the battle part. There is the set of 4 gun barrels or thrusters or whatever that you can slide out the back end. You can't do that when it's in vehicle mode because this tab's actually locked in by the robot arms. So I'm more inclined to think those are cannons because they can only be used in the shield mode.
All right, real quick. Hey,
yeah.
real quick. The accessory that Walgreens Ratchet came with, will that plug into the sled?
Well, hey, look at what I just happen to have right here.
Yay!
No, I meant to try that earlier and just kind of forgot. Let's see. Okay, so leading conclusion seems to be no, unless, okay, so what I can do, this is the only way I can see to do this, is to flip up the side windows, the front, the driver and passenger side windows, and there is a 5mm port there that you can access. But otherwise, it seems to just be pegs under here. So you can put in like that, if that suits your aesthetic. Otherwise, yeah, I don't know. You'd probably have to. I don't know if Non-F makes a female-to-female 5mm adapter. Because, like, if there was something like that, you could plug that onto one of the pegs that's existing and get something that works a little bit better for this. I think these screw holes might be 5mm, but I can't test that because all the... Well, wait, that peg doesn't... That... Well, that's malformed. That's not going to go in there anyway. What am I doing? Where is... Let me try the gun. Yeah, so the screw holes are on 5mm ports here. It's a little bit of a loose fit, but it would work, except that Ratchet's accessory thing has one of the Blast Effect 3mm extensions off of the hinge 5mm port, so you can't actually plug it down far enough in there to stick. So yeah, you've got one 5mm port here you can use for that accessory, and that can kind of work.
That seems acceptable.
Yeah, I think being in this position, you could lay someone small out on this part of it like a bed. I've also seen a picture where someone took part of COG and plugged it into the port on the top of the roof to kind of give it the tank treads from the original one and actually make more of a battle station thing out of it. So, with weaponizers, all things are possible. But yeah, so like the van mode for Ironhide fits and stays together really solidly, and I had been worried about that because like there's so many more new panels that have been added to actually make it look like an Earth vehicle. Considering what they've done with this, I don't want to say it's impossible that they could have sold this on its own as a deluxe, but it feels like there's so much more added to this that as big as Ironhide already was, it would be a stretch to get it to budget out correctly. So being in 2-packs like this and then Ratchet with the Paradron Medic really may have been the only way to make this feasible. And for my money, like if not for the panels not quite closing because of the malformed shoulder joint, I would be 100% satisfied with how this actually did turn out. Like they did a really good job remaking Siege Ironhide, a toy I already really was into, and making it be something basically completely different looking. It's a really impressive effort.
Now we need
I have not
black one.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I have not dropped my Amazon pre-order yet, and I'm probably going to hold on to that and see if that Ironhide and that one fits together a little better. One thing with Prowl, it actually came with some white plastic discoloration out of the box. So on the shoulder here, there's just a slight color variance, which I'm not sure what would have caused that, but like it doesn't come off. So I think it's like in the plastic. So I may have reason enough to look and see if ones I would hopefully manage to get from Amazon, if they don't decide to just randomly cancel my pre-order out from under me, I might see if those are a little bit better samples and then, kind of trade up. But yeah, that's what I got. I was just looking to see in the Discord if anybody's asking any questions. A non-ETF observes Battle Surfboard? Yeah, that would be about right. Maybe like Battle Snowboard. That could be Ratchet's version, being white and all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's all for me.
Sweet. A diecast.
Okay, I'll go. As Chris kind of mentioned, Siege has been showing up at your normal discount stores like Ross. I found a Ultra Magnus and a Shockwave at Ross for I believe $17.99 each. So I picked up those. I also found 2 Springers at Ross, a different Ross, for $12.99. So I picked them up. And the thing with Springer is, he's not going to get an Earthrise. He's not going to get like this is the definitive Springer for right now, and seed is pretty much done. So this is going to be the Springer for a good number of years. So I think it's worth having a second one.
If Hasbro wants to just take that battle damage off and re-release that in Studio Series, I would buy it again.
Agree.
Or like do a generation selects of it.
Yeah.
And they may, or maybe do, after Kingdom is done, do like a special pack of like all 5, like they did. What was that Target pack? It had like an Ultra Magnus, a Springer, a RC, that stuff.
The Platinum Edition.
Pack.
Oh, they don't really do Platinum Editions anymore, so I guess that's kind of
no. That was like 4 years ago.
Yeah, I think Selects kind of took over for that.
Yeah. Now, see, I always thought Selects was our subscription service, kind of, but
no. Oh, you mean as far as what it replaced?
Yeah, in my mind, it kind of replaced the subscription.
I think Selects has kind of replaced a little bit of everything. Yeah.
That's
Well,
fair.
yeah.
But off topic today, because I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, I finally got the Cobra Commander and not a notebook from Amazon. So I was very confused when I opened up my Amazon package and there was a notebook in there that I would have obviously never bought. I'm like, and I had to go to my wish list to be or not my wish list, but my order history to be like, oh, they said Cobra Commander was supposed to arrive today. So it's nice to have him, now that I just ordered a Cobra Commander off the PulseCon. But, I'm going to have like 3 Cobra Commanders because I'm going to have the blue. I'm going to have the standard release, which is the dark blue. And then whatever you call the PulseCon exclusive with the cape.
Snake Supreme.
Yeah. I saw that at my local Walmart. And it's like, it's okay. But me being just a casual Joe fan, I just want the classic Cobra Commander with the light blue uniform with a swappable head between chrome mask and hood.
Yeah.
That's just kind of what I want.
Is that going to be an option, the hood?
We haven't seen anything to that effect yet that I'm aware of.
Yeah, because they're going to probably release another Cobra Commander, and that's going to have the hood.
Probably.
So, yeah.
What's in the box?
Oh, this showed up today. It's the Centurion drone. So I was shocked because I couldn't think what would have came in the mail. So I opened it, and then I was like, oh, Centurion drone. So this is how it comes. You get the box full of the accessories, and then you can open up the box, and there's all the...
And then there's a bag full of accessories.
Yeah. It's a box and a bag and a box. And, yeah, everything looks pretty nice. I hope they do this accessory pack again. I hope this isn't just like a one-off. I mean, because they're doing... a blue roller. It's funny because it actually looks like it's painted blue. So it's actually a gray roller that's painted blue.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very possible.
That's good because we need a dead roller. So
yeah, it's very possible we could be getting a blue roller. Just because unless it was, molded with something else, like I see the backpack in here is also gray. Unless it was, on the same mold as that, I'm not sure. You can see from the bottom, roller is gray.
Mind if I jump in here with some of my observations, Diecast?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I got this yesterday myself. That's part of what I got this week.
Nice.
As best I can tell, everything there that is not clear plastic is molded in that same silver gray. And so that's why Shockwave, for example, comes unpainted, but Megatron has his sight and his silencer, because even Optimus Prime's ridiculously gigantic blaster is gray plastic painted silver. If you or silver plastic painted black. If you look down the barrel, it's the easiest way to tell.
You
So
are
basically, yeah. So basically, all the parts that that have paint applications, like roller, like the blaster, like Soundwave, are the parts that you can reasonably apply blue or black paint to. So that's pretty much the paint applications they had money for. So it's 3 colors of plastic and between the clear plastic bits and 2 colors of paint. And there's another aspect of that I'll save for when I do what I got stuff, since we were talking specifically about what was painted.
Well, I'm done, so keep going.
Okay, well, thank you. Okay. The other aspect, I was talking to Wheeljack64 on Twitter about this, and this seems to be sadly a fairly widespread thing, is that Megatron's mace does not actually fit in Siege Megatron's hand. Don't know if the peg's slightly too large or if the socket on Megatron's hand is slightly too small, but that is something that Wheeljack had. That is something that I have confirmed with mine as well. So
I have a Megatron on my desk right now, so
give it a go.
I'm gonna give it a go.
All
Okay,
right,
cool.
let's break things live on camera.
I guess that's going on my G2 Megatron then.
Yeah, hopefully it'll fit on that one. But otherwise, the accessories are all fairly nice. I'm still kind of torn between whether to keep this roller or non-F roller in the trailer. Just non-F roller is almost comically oversized compared to everything else, and also this roller does have a 5mm socket on the bottom that corresponds to a peg in the trailer, so it will actually stay still in storage when you install it. So I'm really kind of torn as to which will go where. Since non-F roller does seat Titan Masters, I'm kind of thinking to see if he will fit in Super Jinrai's trailer, and he may live there if so.
Interesting.
But other than that, the accessories all seem pretty good. Oh, okay, Diecast got one that fits. So
A little force.
a little force. Okay, so
It did not go all the way on. There's still a gap there. Because
Gotcha.
I had to do it from on. It's the way the fists are angled. It actually should probably only go on his right arm. The left arm, you have to do it from the underside.
Well, good luck removing that clear plastic piece that you just forced into a toy's hand.
Yeah, I tried it on the right hand on mine, and I could not even get it in the fist. And just the idea of using a little force on a clear plastic part is kind of tooth gritty there. It's I was afraid of that. Diecast may have sacrificed his mace for science here.
These can be sacrificed for peace on Earth.
Yes, but Centurion itself is a very nice figure. It's mostly silver plastic. It's what silver plastic looks like anymore. It's that slightly wavy looking silver plastic. But there are some silver paint apps on it that just contrast much more nicely than I would have expected them to. It's a really nice looking figure. I'm never unhappy to have another weaponizer on hand. So between that and the accessory pack and the fact that I got in before they marked it up, I'm completely happy with that purchase. The other things I got this week, thanks to Exvee, he had an extra rotor storm that I got off of him, and man, that is just a pretty toy in person.
Oh, isn't that the best?
It is. That was just that was the pre-order I canceled out of crankiness after one of the Walmart debacles. So I decided to, I figured this was the best opportunity I was going to get to actually get that. So really, really happy with that figure. That is nice. And also, Chris was able to find me a Astro Train, Siege Astro Train at Ross for like $18. So
nice.
Yeah, so I really appreciate that, and that is a nice figure. It's everything. Like I said, I actually have a like ingrown fingernail right now on my left index finger, and trying to do some of the trying to get things into position on that toy with that particular condition is really not fun.
I'll get the bone saw.
Yeah, that's actually what I got. I didn't get a shot.
by the way-
I got an Astro Train. I completely forgot.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Rob, by the way, there's a non-F piece. I picked it up. I forgot to mention in my what I got this week. There's a non-F piece that in train mode fits over that center part of Astro Train. So that way you've got that weird upper, the back of the locomotive mode. And also on shuttle mode, you have that gap covered. And in robot mode, it's like there's some red dots painted on the front that's usually hidden on the figure when it's in place. That's like it's like a missile launcher. But
Are you sure
Okay.
it's a non-F thing?
I thought it was non-F. Maybe it's Matrix Workshop. I may be
Probably
wrong.
Matrix Workshop.
Matrix Workshop. The color match. I watched a video from MGO, and the color match is close, but it's not perfect. But to cover up that middle gap really helps the look of the shuttle mode if you don't mind the slight not color matching. But it really, and that's the first add-on piece I think I've bought since the Megatron Beast Wars Megatron Golden Disc Reader over a decade ago.
Yeah.
Hang
It's
on.
actually a 3D print that you can go out and get to print up a piece for.
If you
Siege
want to
Astro
spend,
Train.
I use the upgrade kits, but there's a lot of good filler kits out there that I'm thinking about getting at some point.
I may look into that
also-
3D. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Rob. I was going to say you're right. It does not go in his right hand at all.
Okay, yeah. So it only fits in the hand it's not supposed to fit in, and not very well at that. That's not encouraging. But yeah, Astro Train, I like how he looks in all three modes. I do not like getting him between them very much. It's just I just have a few problems getting the lines of the shuttle to line up in particular. Just the wings don't want to quite lock into the back end as well as I'd like them to. But I got, again, compared to the other most recent Astro Train, it looks good. So
Rob,
and I even liked that.
I must have just got a good one because I love that freaking Astro Train.
That's fair.
It's not my favorite. It's okay. Hey, Rob, you're about to say that you're going to look into that 3D print, but the one problem is it's not a whistle.
Yes, that is true. So it is. There is a very good chance that that will not actually work. Though my brother has managed to get most of a Fallout laser pistol printed now.
I saw part of it. That's awesome. So Rob's brother's been messing around with 3D printing, and the thing that the benchmark has been a whistle, and it's like my favorite thing on Twitter. It's wonderful.
I sent Rob's brother 48 whistles off of Amazon as a show of solidarity.
That's awesome. Wonderful.
But yeah,
He's turned into some kind of arcane shrine over the 3D printer, though. So that seems to have helped since he's printing laser guns now.
yes. But yeah, like I said, Astro Train decent. I think it's pretty good. I'm gonna come back to it when my finger doesn't hurt and see if I like it more. And that's pretty much everything I got this week.
Matt.
All right. So I got Select's hubcap.
Sweet.
I like him. He's nice. The backpack on mine does not fit in very snugly. I mean, it'll
either.
stay. It'll stay, but pretty much if you touch it, it's gonna, knock out of whatever position you have it in. So it is very, very flimsy in there, but it does stay. It's not going to fall out or anything like that. And since all of Kingdom and Earthrise and everything has been leaked, and I've decided that that we're not going to just get another Sideswipe and Mirage, I went back and picked up the Siege ones from Hasbro Pulse as well, since Mirage came back in stock. And I really like that Mirage toy because I got the clear one out of the 2-pack with Impactor.
Mm-hmm.
But
How do you like the sideswipe mold?
It's fine. It's just fine. I have Tiger Track coming.
yeah, are you more or less looking forward to Tiger Track now that you've actually handled the mold?
It's pretty much exactly what I was expecting, so I'm fine with it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you can see, Matt, why I fell in love with that Mirage mold. Like I said, that could be my Seeker mold for me, just because it's such.
I would love it even more if it didn't have transparent plastic that already has stress marks on it.
Same.
Yeah.
The Netflix one has opaque plastic, but it's in the wrong colors.
I would even like the colors, but I really don't like the battle damage, and they doubled down on it for the Netflix stuff.
Yeah,
They tripled down on it for the Netflix stuff. It's a turnoff. And that's all I got this week.
Okay. Anybody else?
Wow.
Okay, just me. I'm gonna just run through mine since we're an hour in.
Jeez.
I know, right? Rotor Storm.
Pretty.
You know, Rotor Storm was one of my favorite G1 toys.
It's so pretty.
Yeah. So I don't know. It doesn't necessarily click to me. Like it's just off.
No, I think I can see where you're coming from with that, because like obviously that was not ever made to be a Rotor Storm, other than like they designed a head for it that looks like Rotor Storm.
Yeah, it's beautiful though, so it's hard to complain. Hubcap.
It's not what I wanted, but it is perfectly acceptable.
Yeah. I mean, like they could. You know what? I was going to say they could take this the Siege or Earthrise Megatron mold and put a new head on it and call it Stalker, and I'd probably be happy with that. So just repaint it. Hubcap. I mean, it's Hubcap. Nothing.
Hubcap has a really nice head sculpt.
It does. I have not transformed it, but I got Blitzwing. It's okay. I mean, I don't love it. I know a lot of people are like super giddy over it. I don't quite get it, but it's certainly not bad without transforming it. So I know Chris had some frustration with that. So going through the couple things here. Kim went to Ollie's, found a couple things. It's Transformers Stuck On Stories book.
Oh,
So,
cute.
yeah, I love these things. So it's little Transformers faces or heads with like suction cups that you can put on a mat that has like, and you can tell different stories with it. It's like meant for like a 1-year-old. So
Did you tweet a picture of that recently?
yeah.
Okay, then that's right. Like I was thinking, I saw one of those just recently, and it was from you, obviously.
It was from me. She also got me. I was going to make a joke about Kingdom, but I'm not. It's just she got me Optimus Primal, which is actually the Robot Heroes or Rescue Bots Optimus Prime that transforms into a dinosaur. It's electronic, but the batteries in it are dead, so I need to replace them. But it's cute. I kind of love it. It's honestly, I think that Rescue Bots is superior in most ways to Cyberverse, toy-wise. And, I mean, so it's a dinosaur with Optimus Prime legs, which is pretty much dead on to what Cyberverse is, most of the toys are. So, and actually, I really like that.
Have that in yellow too for Bumblebee.
Or a similar thing, at least.
Yeah, I need to, I should get that. I don't have it. I recorded this during a recording. I bought this during the recording of a show a week or two back. The UMD of Transformers the movie.
Oh, nice.
So this is it plays on the PSP. It's Transformers the movie, and it's sealed.
That is absolutely awesome.
Yeah. So this is one of my collection of weird things. Pretty happy with that.
Oh, it's such a like focused, condensed piece of the time that it was made.
Yes. Also, I guess does this complete my collection of these Stan Bush? At least as far as Stan Bush Transformers stuff goes. I mean, there's a German record, I think, that he and his band did that has the touch on it. But as far as things that I would have any interest in buying, this came through my eBay search list, and it was $10. Buy it now. It's the single of the Touch on 45, and I was willing to spend more than $10 on this, and I'm like, sure, $10, and it came. So there's a slight stain, a water stain or something on one label on one side, but unlike other albums like 45s that I've had like this, it's actually the Touch on both sides. So the label says the Touch on both sides. So I'm not worried about it. I have a frame on the way for 45s, and it's going in that and going on the wall.
And there are like no differences whatsoever between them?
Looking. Nope. Exactly the same.
That is so weird.
Yeah. Yeah, so very pleased with that. Finally, now that I've had it for so long, the joke is kind of gone, but I'm going to say, so what's happened to the Headmasters? Can't they fight without Chrome Dome? So it's the it's Mitten Box Headmaster Chrome Dome from the Japanese Headmaster series.
That's cool.
I've been trying to get catch up on my G1 things that I'm missing, and when possible, I'm going Japanese. And this, of course, that's a reference to Life Can Be Sacrificed for Peace on Earth, which is everyone's favorite episode of the Headmasters in the Malaysian dub. So, yeah, I picked this up. I'm very happy with it. So, I don't remember which Headmasters I have and which I don't, but I need to get a new Brainstorm. The only Brainstorm that I have is actually my childhood, which is beat up. So if I could get Brainstorm Mitten Box, I think that might be something to go for. But very happy with this. And that's it. Okay, let's jump to the news. Oops. About knocked my monitor over.
Swell.
Yeah. Okay. So, PulseCon exclusives went up today at noon Eastern time. And it was incredibly nice.
It was a remarkable experience.
It was
exactly
so weird.
noon, too. It was not 10 minutes early, 5 minutes early.
If I
it was about 30 seconds late.
If I could complain about one thing, because I've got to complain about something, it had its own page instead of being on the exclusives page. I just figured it would be on the exclusives page.
Yeah.
But it was on a PulseCon exclusives page. But the experience went so well that it didn't matter.
Yeah. So I think everybody that went through this was subjected to a CAPTCHA to, confirm they were a real person using a real account.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you got past that with stuff in your cart, when you hit the checkout button, you're actually put into a virtual checkout line. So they were throttling the load on the server. While you're in that line, nothing sold out from under you because nothing sold out for like 10 minutes. It literally, if you were there within the first 10 minutes, you could get anything you wanted, one each of. The first thing that sold out was the Star Wars Heroes of Endor set, which was, I think, the most expensive thing that they had up for offer. And being a Black Series thing, I kind of expected that would probably be the thing that went first, because the Stormtrooper set, which last we checked was actually still in stock, I figured they probably made a ton more of.
Yeah.
Now, for reference, today's activation event was specifically for Pulse Premium members. On Thursday, they will be doing the general purchase, but it's still, even though anybody can buy at that point, it's still one per person, and presumably they'll be using the same CAPTCHA and throttling methodology to kind of streamline the load a little bit and make the experience hopefully as good as it was today, and let as many people as possible have a good chance at this. But we checked a little bit before showtime, and I think at that time there's still only 2 exclusives that sold out of the 9 that were originally available. So the Heroes of Endor set and Cobra Commander, the Supreme Snake Cobra Commander.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, those are the only things that sold out their first day allocations. And Cobra Commander didn't sell out until about 20 minutes after the sale started. So, if you could be there for this at all, you 99% chance of getting exactly what you wanted today. It was an amazing thing. I've never seen anything like this, literally.
Yeah, I actually got the War for Cybertron trilogy Quintezon Pit of Justice or Judgment. Surprise, surprise. I got that first, and like we normally do, I checked out right away. That guaranteed me, I got that item. Then I went back, and then I grabbed, I think Cobra Commander, and then I even went back and grabbed the Star Wars set. So I still got the Star Wars set, which usually I could never do because I always went to Transformers first, and Star Wars would always sell out first. So I was even though it was my third item and my third checkout, able to get that set, which was absolutely amazing. I think they did a great job. The only problem I had is that the quick pay option to pay with like your Apple Pay or something, that didn't seem to work. I had to go through the regular checkout process, but I didn't mind because the regular checkout process, I was logged in, so it knew all my information. And, basically the only thing I had to do is tell it what credit card I want and then put in my security code. And then, so I went through the order process the normal way. Their quick order didn't seem to be working.
Okay, cool. Any other thoughts about this?
I mean, I had somewhat of a more harrowing ordeal myself because I was at work and the launch window does not match up with my scheduled break times. And I had to find a Wi-Fi sweet spot to even get online to do this. So, as smooth as it was for everyone, it was not quite as smooth for me, but I did still get the Pit of Judgment set right away, which is what I wanted. I was sweating bullets there while waiting for in the checkout line. But like Diecast said, I put that in my basket and checked right out, and then went back for the Hellfire Club set, and also was able to get that. So that was nice. The auto pay option did work, but I had to try it twice. Like, I went to PayPal and it said to refresh the page, and I just had to go back to PayPal and hit continue again, and it went through. So
cool.
I think everybody panicked a little bit when that first, you're queued up in checkout. Just don't refresh your page, and we'll forward you along when it's your turn. I think the first time that came up for everybody, there was like a universal feeling of panic, but then it's like, oh yeah, so this actually does just forward and everything's still here. It's going to be fine.
Yes. And I hate that feeling. I hate that feeling so very, very much.
Mm-hmm. What was interesting for me is when this went live, I had actually not yet decided if I was going to buy the Pit of Judgment or not. And I actually had time to make that decision on the fly. And interestingly, by the time I did that, I did not even get put in a queue. I just hit checkout and I went to the checkout.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Yeah, it was maybe like 12 when I did that, and it was
all the crowd died down. Yeah,
the crowd died down. It was except for I tried to do the quick checkout with PayPal. That didn't work for me, so I did the long checkout and it was fine. So I was sitting there wondering if it was going to actually still be there when I did it, because any other time I would have tried to do a pre-order like this, any other place this year, it wouldn't have been. So it was perfectly smooth, and I spent $70. I don't know if I should have or not.
Same.
Well, I hope that everybody that did have a positive experience talks this up on the various social medias of their choice, because if word gets around of how smooth the process was and how much, or actually I should say how little customer dissidence there was over scalping and bots, and compared to earlier things, maybe again, this is a long shot, I know, but if everyone talks about the positive experiences, maybe other retailers will look at doing this, trying to get a smoother process to gain this positive feedback from their customers. It's a long shot, I understand.
But I really like you to be right, Don.
I would
Yeah,
love for you
it
to
was
be
a
right.
positive. It was a positive experience this time. When there
Right.
actually is an SDCC in the future, we'll see how it turns out then.
Exactly. But I mean,
and I will say that the other scenario I'm thinking is either everybody talks up Hasbro Pulse and how much they enjoyed using it, and other companies go, "Wow, we could do that," or they start ordering more exclusives from Hasbro that can't be sold on Pulse.
Yeah.
Either one is, in a sense, a net win.
I suppose.
So this made me think about Gigawatt and what that horrible experience that was. And I just did a quick search of eBay to see how much that's pre-order is going for. And the cheapest one is now $200.
Well, that's a substantial improvement,
Yeah,
but
it's-
also still a middle finger.
yeah.
A smaller middle finger, mind you,
Yeah,
but
just-
still.
I'm just trying to figure out what my number is.
Your number is $39.99 when it goes up on Amazon, probably next week.
But it's not numbered. There's no sticker on it.
Oh, who cares?
I'm so glad that's the only difference, because I might actually end up getting the thing.
Okay. Hey,
I'm just going to say really quick, I'm so glad I was able to get that Pit of Judgment set. Because
Yeah.
if I hadn't, I wouldn't be here tonight. Because you wouldn't have wanted me here tonight.
Yeah.
Because there would have been a string of profanity so long that no amount of editing would have been able to save
Okay.
the shit.
Yeah.
I would have wanted you here because I would have wanted to hear that. But like, I understand, like, you know, for the purposes of actually having a show that can go out on the internet, yes, we wouldn't have wanted you here.
Cool. Hey, let's go ahead and jump to the news. Also, real before that, you know, what I said, Earthrise Megatron. I didn't even think about Double Dealer. Double Dealer makes way more sense as Stalker than.
Oh
Megatron.
yeah, I wouldn't even think of it
Yeah,
either.
we've tossed that out in the past, actually.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay.
So with the PulseCon stuff, before we move on, did anyone buy a T-shirt or a hat?
No. Why? Why would you?
I was kind of surprised
No, I
that
bought toys.
this was a thing. So this kind of makes me think that they actually were going to have a real convention
No.
and call it PulseCon. That's why.
John, how long does it take you to come up with a design for a hat?
Like half an hour.
There you go. No.
Yeah.
And how long would it take me to source like 1,000 from China? About half an hour.
Yeah.
Would you be able to source those from China while you're designing the logo?
Yes.
And
So you can do both things in the same half hour,
Yeah.
is what you're saying.
and
Yeah,
honestly,
well, I'm waiting for a response for sure.
and those shirts and hats could be on demand. You wouldn't even know.
Yeah. I was actually wondering about that
I would
too.
just
like,
assume that they were on demand.
yeah, shirts and hats are basically the easiest thing to produce in terms of like souvenir wear.
Yeah.
Now, as for when PulseCon, the virtual thing, is happening versus like when HasCon happened in, well, as it turns out, 2017, which floored me that was that
Yeah.
long ago. You know, there is a similarity in the dates, but like, I think it's probably a long shot that they ever had any serious idea that they would be doing a PulseCon as a thing
Yeah.
and not a stream. Now, it's not to say if they, you know, look at how this virtual one goes in terms of fan response this year, they might think, you know, for a future year when it's safe to have large gatherings again, maybe this is something we could translate into a physical event. But, you know, probably that was never in the books for this
Yeah,
year.
I'm sure. Yeah. Hey, but in the future it could be. That would be great. Okay. News. So the official reveal of Kingdom.
And there was actually something we hadn't seen already.
Yes. So
Amazing.
So what do you guys think? So they showed off Rat Trap, Cheetor.
wait, what?
What?
What? There was a reveal that we didn't know about?
Hey,
Yes.
John, have you checked the show notes?
No, I'm trying to avoid opening up a lot of windows, trying to keep
Oh, that's
the-
true. Yeah.
Okay.
the bandwidth down.
So they showed off Rat Trap, Cheetor, Cyclonus, and Megatron. We knew about Megatron, we just haven't seen Megatron.
And to be fair, like Cyclonus was half of something we hadn't seen because previously we saw an unpainted sample of just the vehicle mode.
Yeah.
So we had no idea about what the robot mode looked like or how it was going to actually be decoed in its final iteration. So we can say we have like 1.5 actual first reveals here.
That Cheetor Beast mode not that Cheetor Beast, the Rat Trap Beast mode, it bugs me. It's literally just, instead of trying to be a rat trap, it's just a mouse.
Okay,
And like I think it's like a 1-to-1 scale mouse too.
That's
Yeah.
cool, but it's not really, it's not Rat Trap.
Well, yeah, I understand.
Cheetor
Beast.
looks good.
Beast Wars Megatron.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beast Wars Megatron.
No, it's Earthrise Megatron, and they just gave him a hat.
I mean, I didn't know if they were doing like a king. I didn't know. I just wanted to make sure before I
Yeah,
start looking.
and-
another G1 Megatron for the third year.
Yeah, and Cyclonus is Kingdom and not Studio Series.
Yeah.
Well, that was the one we saw in the bag not long ago.
Yeah, like 2 months ago, I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, I did not know about Beast Wars Megatron being revealed. I came straight home and then got ready for the show. I hadn't even looked. It'd been on Twitter most of the day.
Yeah, so that Megatron is just beautiful. Like I so need to have that in my life and collection, and I don't feel regret over selling the Masterpiece one so much anymore because like this is not a perfect likeness to the CG model like the Masterpiece one, but it conveys the same feeling to me, and it's something I think is a toy I will enjoy handling and not be terrified of.
Yeah, it looks nice.
And also was not $300.
Yeah, in the chat, Rodimus Supreme was like, Brian, you missed the part about the realistic beast modes. I want beast modes that match the characters. Didn't miss anything. I don't care. It doesn't make sense to me. But so as far as realistic goes, if you look at, I don't know if you've noticed this, but Megatron is a purple Tyrannosaurus Rex.
That's realistic.
We don't know what color
they
his
were.
skin was. So
I love it.
then go buy Masterpiece Rat Trap. Okay. When they do it. Yeah, so I like Megatron looks good.
Cyclonus looks so good.
Cyclonus looks good.
I don't think I like Cyclonus' face.
So is Megatron going to be a leader?
Yes, Megatron's a leader.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Cyclonus being in Kingdom while Scourge and all them are in Studio Series seems to support the idea that like they're just kind of cooking the books with the product categories here, and basically everything is running along the same playbook, whether it's Generations or Studio Series. Even though like probably in terms of how they're designed and built, there's some variances. Like it's not 1-to-1 interchangeable between being Kingdom or Studio Series, just depending where they have an opening. But like, I think it's all in service to one goal this year, basically.
So we finally have an aligned continuity of toys.
So anyway, no, for the most part, that Cyclonus I think looks really good. It absolutely has a lot of impression of the 2008 Universe toy. But there's just something about that robot face that is not clicking for me.
The toy looks a little bit weird in the picture because they're not taking advantage of the double jointed knees to move the legs a little bit forward. But
I guess.
Yeah, the face is a little off. It doesn't bother me that much though. It looks
I'll be
great.
interested to see how it looks in person.
Yeah.
There's another figure with a face that bothers me a little bit more, which we'll be talking about here in a moment.
Oh, that one. Okay.
No, Megatron bothers me for completely other reasons. But
Yeah, I know. I didn't know if you were just like dogpiling on it.
Okay, let's next item. Transformers Prime 10th anniversary set revealed.
Yeah, so wow, that kind of... So it was what everybody thought it was, but that by all logic it shouldn't have been. So this is actually going to be a reissue of Arms Micron Breakdown, the toy that has for a decade almost commanded prices in the hundreds of dollars on eBay because it only came out in Japan. And a bunch of people didn't buy it because they kept waiting for Hasbro to release it, even though they were never going to.
Right, because
Never. I see it right now.
Yeah,
No,
in terms of toys, like 8 to 10 years later, might as well be never. So it's that and the Jet Viacon, which we also didn't get. Sorry, Don, you can go ahead now.
That's fine. I'm sorry. No, they said at BotCon it was asked. That was one of the first questions the BotCon after Prime started,
Mm-hmm.
were they going to? And they said they would try to bring it over, but the size of the figure and the plastic that it was in it at the time,
Yeah.
just didn't fit any of their price points.
Drop
They
testing.
had they had no
Well, not
price
drop
points.
testing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. I may have forgotten that part, but I remember them
No,
saying,
no, drop testing was Brave Maximus.
"Oh yeah,
I thought
Breakdown
I thought Breakdown was also drop testing in the
No,
fact-
Breakdown was just a matter of that Takara made it for their own market first without any regard to how it would have to fit into a Hasbro price point
Right,
because,
and-
things weren't unified back then. It just was not something Hasbro could budget into being a Voyager, but they're not going
Well,
to sell something.
part of that budgeting though was the safety testing, because it's different, but it's different on both sides of the ocean.
possibly."
No, but
I'm saying
all
that's
this was about was that there's just too much toy
Yeah.
there for their price point.
yeah. They even said we might look. They said I think they said we'll look at it maybe as an exclusive with its own. Its own thing, so it doesn't have to be pigeonholed into. But because I think I talked to one of the Hasbro reps a year or two after that, they're at the booth, and they said, from what we understand, there's no way to do it. It's going to cost us too much at our price points to bring it over right now, and that's about the last I heard until. Ta-da! Now,
Yeah,
I
and
wish
the closest we ever got was having that mold in a BotCon set as a Megatron.
Megatron. Now,
Oh,
is
yeah.
this? Now is
And we lost.
I wish Don could finish his question first.
Yeah.
That Jet Viacon is awesome too.
Yeah.
I have that. I really like it.
Yeah, so the Jet Viacon had a second deco in the Arms Micron line, and that also ended up getting used in a BotCon set with the regular Viacon. They made a constant wingspan out of them. By the same token, Takara used the breakdown mold a couple extra times too, because usually the way it worked is if Hasbro or Takara initiates a mold and then the other company sells it in their market, that counts for extra mold use enough to recoup their development costs. But since Takara made that for themselves and Hasbro never was able to bring it over to their market, Takara had to keep recycling it. So we got Swerve and then the redeco based on the idea of Silas from Mech in the show being turned into the Breakdown Cyborg.
That one I
yeah.
have. That one's the black one with
Yeah.
the chrome grill. Yeah, that is actually a really nice piece. But I missed Breakdown, and that's why I ended up getting the Silas Breakdown.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So Don's back. Don was
Yeah.
going to ask a question.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got dropped again. I apologize, everyone. The Silas Breakdown version came out 2 or 3 years later. I don't know if any plastic was different, formulation was different. Do you think maybe if there was, that's what we're getting, just repainted as
No, I
Breakdown?
don't think so.
Nope, it's
Okay.
it's Breakdown.
Oh, it
'Cause
is.
the
Okay.
Silas actually added parts.
Yeah,
That's
Silas
right.
part.
That's right. The yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
I
the
just
chrome
didn't-
little man in the chest. So this is actually on sale in the Philippines as of at least earlier this week when we got the details about this. And in the local currency, it's being sold for the equivalent of about $82 to $85. So probably it's going to be in the same ballpark here. I would guess a price point of about 80 whenever Hasbro markets it to North America.
Now,
I do want to note, it was sold at the same time as Select's hubcap, which was marked up to about $30. So there could be some markup here. The one of the people who first broke this being available in the Philippines said that there's a lot of variance into what does and doesn't get marked up in the local markets. So could be $80, could be 60 or 75. We're not going to know until it's formally.
I was thinking 80 kind of made sense though, because Breakdown is a bigger than Voyager for all intents and purposes. The Jet Viacon's a little bit bigger than the Deluxe of its time, and especially now is probably a little bit more parts heavy than the average Deluxe. And there's the two Micron sprues that come with it. So if you assume that Breakdown, if it was a normal Voyager, would get marked up to 30 to current Voyager price just as a normal practice, then being a little bit more beyond that and assume a price of 40 for that, and then go about 30 for the Jet Viacon, and then make up the last 10 with those arms microns, the $80 price point actually kind of tracks and makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I do want to mention that the pictures we've seen do show that they come with both the arms microns and the sticker sheets. So
Yeah.
this should be not no way to promise it's identical to the original release, but it looks about as close as we could get.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. It's as much of a reissue as we could ever have of these.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
the other thing I was
for $80 compared to the like 400 plus you would have to spend to get both of these if you were lucky, like it's still a vast bargain. Sorry, Diecast, go ahead.
No, the other thing I was going to say is, didn't I read somewhere that they were going to mention the 10th anniversary of Prime in the PulseCon? So I'm assuming this is going to be either a pre-order that goes live during PulseCon or a
See now, buy now.
see now, buy now thing. Yeah.
Yeah, you may have read that in the or heard that in the news desk article that we're linking to for this. Yeah, we have PulseCon's schedule. There's 2 Transformers related panels. Both of them happen on Saturday this weekend. One is a Peter Cullen and Frank Welker panel, which is, it's the normal, their memories of recording the Transformers, but probably...
How do I get into voice acting?
Well, we may be spared that this time around. And, probably for, politeness purposes, no good stories about Wally Burr.
So if Scrappy Doo and Grape Ape Grape Ape were to go through a drive-through, what would that sound like?
Okay, what if Scrappy Doo went through a drive-through that Eeyore was working at?
Did Frank Welker actually do Scrappy Doo? I was just literally thinking.
No, I believe you're right.
Oh, okay, he was literally the first Scooby-Doo character I thought of, so I had no idea. Okay. So, sorry, go ahead. I'm just trying to be stupid.
It fits thematically. The second panel is the one I think most of us care more about, which is they're just like laying it all out. They're calling it the Transformers Kingdom Reveal panel or words to that effect. So they're not even like pretending it's going to be anything else. They're going to show the whole first wave of Kingdom. I assume we're going to get our tease of the Titan, which we pretty much know at this point is going to be the Ark. And actually, on the Hasbro Pulse blog, they put up blueprint graphics for the Ark. The fictional starship, the Ark, not necessarily the toy, the Ark. So I think that's also hinting toward that end. Hopefully that itself does not end up being our only Titan tease that we get, but who can say with the way things are right now. So there's going to be that. As Diecast pointed out, they're going to be talking about a 10th anniversary. They don't say specifically in the panel description that it's going to be the Prime 10th anniversary, but it's the only 10th anniversary happening this year in Transformers. So, the one thing they don't specifically say or acknowledge here is Studio Series, which may just be an omission in how they've written this copy. Because, hopefully they're going to talk about next year's Studio Series stuff, since it's kind of important to what they're doing with Generations in a roundabout way. And I want some official acknowledgement and pre-orders for some of these toys, man.
Seriously.
Give me,
You and Don
give me
both.
things.
Yeah. Hey, real quick. So, just a surprise. Looking at eBay, I did not see the Prime set either for sale or through a completed sale. So that makes me sad a little bit. But hey, let's move on to the next item. So we have leaks. God, I'm just so tired. I'm so tired of these leaks. I am just.
So I debated putting these in hopes that we would just wait and see the stuff at the panel, but then
No, we got it.
realizing that's not mentioned. Like, I don't want to take the risk.
Yeah, we have to talk about it. It's not like it's just something completely fabricated. But reviews of unannounced toys. So it's Hot Rod, Cup. And was there actually a review though, Scourge?
Just a picture of Scourge.
Yeah. So Hot Rod looks amazing.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I want to take a moment here and let Don unmute because I think we need to have Don's reaction to this first, unless he's gone on another podcast and already, given his first impressions of this.
I'm stoked. Because for years, they had this third version of a hot rod transformation there, but we kept getting, I know we're all
in the animation of the movie specifically.
Yeah. It was there. It was there as another option, but we kept getting different versions. Like we got the Cyberverse version, and then we got the other version, and we got the Power of the Primes version, which were all fine. But it just seemed like it was, again, the same 84, 85, 86. And this is kind of in the same mold. But to actually have that arm spin, which is like, that's the only time it's ever done is when he's on Quintessa. That's the only time he uses that animation. And to finally get a toy that closely replicates that, it's a very fresh take on it. I'm glad to see it. Just because it's always Hot Rod is almost like a mini bot to some degree. Flip the head up, push the arms in, push the
or
feet
a spy
down.
changer.
You're kind of done.
He's a big spy changer.
Yeah, or spy changer. You're kind of stuck with that. At least there is now. It's some more intricacy without just being the same that we've gotten before. And I've just always been pushing for this because it's such a unique way of transforming the character in motion that still works. You still get the same robot mode, you still get the same car mode, but it's just a fresh take on getting there. So I'm very happy for this. I'm hoping we'll see a selects down the road where I think we mentioned this last week, where they can add a battle master, since the molds are still there, even if the price point isn't in place, and they can make him, a target master. And maybe, I know the color is a concern for a lot of people because, you've got red, you've got pinkish, and then you've got magenta. So maybe whatever selects version they do, they can do the version they haven't done here. But this is pretty close to that magenta that we're seeing in the movie, at least to my eyes. But I don't know what y'all think.
What about, and also we saw Cup. Cup's vehicle mode is perfect. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's exactly what I want from a Cup. Robot mode, I don't know that I'm sold on it.
I like the robot mode too, but he is the one that I alluded to earlier where I'm not crazy about the face sculpt. He just looks sad.
I think Cup's robot mode is like 80% of the way there.
I mean, it's not bad. And does it intentionally break apart, or does he just break?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
so
Hot Rod can put him back together.
Yeah, so it's interesting that Don specifically mentioned that Hot Rod's arm swing transformation was a thing from the Quintessa scenes, because Cup's dismemberment action feature, let's call it here, also is a reference to those scenes from the movie. So, like, whether they engineered Hot Rod to transform that way, specifically thinking these two toys are going to be representative of when they're on the Quintesson planet, or if that's just an interesting coincidence, like, that's kind of neat that it ended up working out that way.
Basically the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And
John,
as John points out, we also have the pit from Quintesson.
which I was going
Yes.
exactly, because I mean, that's got to be a running theme by somebody, seeing the connective tissue there between the figures, the pit, and all of that. I'm just wondering, is this Cup going to be worth swapping out with Titan's Return?
Yes,
the
because
Japanese
this was not
both-
a headmaster. For no
Well, I know,
reason.
but what I'm saying is the Japanese Cup is the American one's a very good looking figure too, but the Japanese Titan's Return Cup is a very good looking cup. Headmaster or not, it's still a great looking figure. So I'm just wondering how these are going to look side by side, and if it's be worth swapping out or not.
I think the Legends one has the better face sculpt, but I'm kind of with Matt here on the let's drop the being a headmaster for no reason thing, because aside from the face sculpt not being necessarily quite what I want out of a Cup, everything else about this is
Exactly what I want out of a Cup.
well, like I said, the robot mode's like 80% of the way there, but you can't recreate that truck mode anywhere
The
other
fact
than
that
this
they've gotten
toy.
as close as they have amazes me.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like the same thing with Hot Rod. Really, this is the
Yeah,
best go at a screen accurate Hot Rod. Now it uses fake parts for the robot chest, but like that's Floro Dairy's fault. Like flat out, that's Floro Dairy's fault for making the robot parts contour in a way that the car parts don't. Like, you can't do that with an actual toy. That was never a concern for him designing the movie characters. But like, this is the best we're probably ever going to get, and
I want to see this kind of take on Blur.
Yeah.
we're getting a Blur in Studio Series.
Yeah.
Yes, and I want to see
Yeah.
it.
So
Like,
Yeah,
Right.
I need to see it.
But-
If Hot Rod and Cup look like this, I need
Yeah,
to see Blur.
But one thing to think about is with this cup,
And we lost on again.
Okay, so Hot Rods of Voyager, Cup is a deluxe. I'm assuming. Right?
and Scourge is a Voyager.
So, with Hot Rod,
Scourge looks so good.
Hot Rod is slightly larger than a deluxe, but he is
Yeah.
there's more engineering there.
And there's extra parts.
Yeah.
So he comes with a blast effect for one of his 2 rifles, and also he has a matrix that he can hold. That's why the hands are hinged. And there is like a light burst effect you can attach onto that matrix.
So
I love that.
Plus the buzzsaw.
So-
Buzzsaw attachment.
so Don, are you back? Okay.
No, he's not.
He's not. Okay.
That was
So-
such good comedic timing when
Yeah,
he
it was
dropped.
perfect. But with Scourge though, I mean the shell from the bathtub mode. I mean, I'm not complaining too much about it, but it would be nice if that could be hidden somewhere.
I mean,
yeah.
There's so much you can do with that alt mode. He is a bar of soap essentially. I mean, I think
Yes.
I think they've done as best as they can. I think this looks good.
Oh, yeah. I mean, other than that, it's perfect. It's beautiful.
So Don, the thing with Cup is
You're not muted, Dawn. Go ahead.
no, I'm trying not to cuss because I'm extremely PO'd right now. But go ahead, Chris.
the thing with
Yeah,
Cup is
yeah,
I'm leading you in because when you dropped the last thing we heard was the thing with Cup is
I'm sorry. The thing with Cup is, I'm sorry, I didn't know how far I got. The thing with Cup is we can look at getting a really good looking Orion Pax out of this
Oh,
because
God.
him and Cup do share a certain silhouettes,
Okay.
It's not perfect, but it's
I
possible.
mean, you need something else.
And
to
the-
use
and
the
may-
mold
yeah.
as.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and maybe there's going to be. I don't want them to use the RC figure, but maybe there's something that they could use for Ariel. So you get Orion Pax and Ariel.
Oh no, they would use the
RC.
Chromia.
RC. Yeah,
I'm sure.
You can only have
I'm sure.
one female mold at a time.
per year. No, so like we already have a good Orion Pax, which came with Power of the Primes, Optimus Prime. It's just there's no vehicle mode to go with it. But I don't think they could recreate that effectively off of this Cup skeleton. Unfortunately,
So has there been an example so far? I mean, Studio Series is. I mean, it's a sub brand of Generations, right? Or at least it used to be.
No, technically it is under the Generations banner. Somebody even pointed out recently, and I kind of forgot this, current Studio Series packaging in the corner has
that's
the
right.
Generations logo. So it's
there
Generations movie series.
So there could be. I mean, it doesn't even have to matter, but there could be crossover between Generations and Studio Series. So if they wanted to
And
repaint,
Selects.
and Selects,
Obviously.
if they wanted to repaint that or retool it into Orion Pax, I mean, go ahead. I don't need another Orion Pax. I don't
Or
care.
for that matter, they could just if they can take the Studio Series stuff and throw it in a Selects box, just do Selects Toy Colors Cup, and you've got something even easier.
Yeah.
Because
And
Selects
throw a
does not.
Target Master in.
Yeah,
Yes.
Selects does not introduce a lot of new tooling of its own, and I would be surprised if they have any extensive amount of alternate parts on that cup mold as it is.
Yeah.
The Selects will do a new head sculpt, and if they want to replace the face on that cup, I would not, be opposed to that.
They're not going to do it, but I wish there was some sort of not button, but internal gearing or something where you could push Scourge's chest out and he expands to be like a burden hardest to bear. Scourge.
Ah,
It's not going to happen, but that would be awesome.
if this was 2009 and we had Revenge of the Fallen level resources and engineering, that would absolutely be a thing.
That'd be cool. Okay. Anything else? Any other thoughts? on-
Isn't that enough?
Yeah, I know.
I-
Patreon. Go ahead.
Only thing I have to say is I'm looking forward to seeing Cup with his shoulders tabbed down properly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, patreon.com/tfradio. Help us out. You guys would be awesome. We would love you much. And tfradio.net/Amazon. If you're going to buy something, toilet paper, toothpaste, whatever, just
Plasma TVs. That's not
yeah,
even a thing
plasma
anymore.
TVs. Actually, no, they don't make plasma TVs anymore.
No.
They should.
OLED TV.
Or QLED or OLED TV.
Yeah.
That would be great. Do that. Help us out. I want to thank our patrons at the touched level. So we have Kevin Dorsey, Peter MD PhD.
Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, Sean Bratton, Jacob Owen Lucia, Jason W. Rye, Sean Hamilton. Sean's not here tonight. He's usually here, but he has some bad weather keeping him from being on. That's what happens when you're in Alabama, though. You just got to expect storms.
I think he did.
Yeah, I know. Mike Mallory, Jason Hiley, Jonathan James, Matthew Dedman, Hector Bones, Nathan Sampy, Spider Bob, Rabbits, Emmett Stresovich, Gaming Fix, Patrick Davidson, Joey Russell, and Ryan Bona. Thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. Patreon.com/tfradio. If you want to sign up, and those folks can be heard or seen at tfradio.net/credits. I just want to plug our Discord. If you're not already chatting along with us on Discord, please do. tfradio.net/discord. You don't have to install anything. It's just the easiest, best way to connect with us during the show. We do have the YouTube chat, and I look at it and I try to engage when I can. But we want all of our fans, if possible, to go to Discord, tfradio.net/discord. Let's see here. Of course, you can find all of our links for basically everything at tfradio.net, and podcasts and stuff going back. We're almost 21 years. We're just a few weeks away. So, tfradio.net. Rob Springer's not here, but he's at zonebase.org, and that's Robo Rob Springer. I am at briankilby.com, and at bkilby on Twitter, and at Brian Kilby on Instagram. Hopefully soon we'll be starting on my new Christmas album, hopefully 2 this year. Yes, 2. If everything works out like I want to. You can find that in my other stuff, other podcasts, and my Christmas albums for the last 4 years, briankilby.com. Yep.
So I understand John DeLuna is at the toy store or Walmart or something. How's that going?
Did you find anything, John?
I didn't find any G.I. Joes. Sorry.
Oh,
Sad. I did see. I saw a bunch of Snapdragons, which I have not seen at Walmart before. So that's something. And I saw the the Diecast miniature G.I. Joe statues, which
the
like
Jada
the
things.
6-pack.
Yeah.
Which weighs like 5 pounds. It's like the packaging is like the size of a deluxe, and it weighs like 20 pounds. Very weird. And then what else did I see? Oh, then I saw John Cena as Faker. Interesting. Yeah. But otherwise, no, it came up fruitless. Unfortunately.
Sad.
such is the life of toy hunting,
Yeah, John, how do people find you?
I'm that John D everywhere.
Everywhere.
including in the toy department at Walmart.
Yes. Chris,
Yes.
how do people get a hold of you?
Well, you can follow me personally on Twitter at ChrisRTXV. You can share in my personal toy tragedy, which was Ghost Starscream from the Grand Galvatron Unite Warriors set breaking because that toy is 85% clear plastic, and it's also like 3 years old now. So do the math. For me, the math ended up being subtract 1 leg. So I took a really high quality photo of my broken Ghost Starscream, though, as you do. If you want to follow me for toy photography and related things like that on social media, you can follow at Play With Photos on Twitter, or on Instagram, I'm Play With Photography. My collected works, including galleries, are at playwithphotography.com. I still have a smokescreen, an Earthrise smokescreen gallery up, which is still on early access for my patrons at $2 or higher. That's at patreon.com/playwithphotos. I'm really happy with how that gallery turned out, and I'd be really happy if, you thought it was worth signing up for a couple bucks and checking it out too. It'll go up for public consumption at some point in the near-ish future. I don't actually have a set schedule for that at the moment, but things develop as they develop. Probably since I have where did I even put them? Probably since I have Ironhide and Prowl on hand now, they'll be getting all the attention from me for the next little bit, and those will probably be going up on Patreon before too long too. So it's definitely worth your while to become a patron. $2 gets you early access to galleries, and $5 and up gets you credited on splash page on every new gallery. And at the highest tier right now, the best reward is just that you get permanently credited even if you stop being a patron, because I couldn't think of anything else to do. I'm kind of bad at this whole Patreon thing, but I appreciate the patrons who have stuck with me through thick and thin over the last year and a half, 2 years now. Man, have I really been doing this that long? I've been talking for a while. Maybe I should stop. So that's all for me. Amazon wishlist, tfradio.net/Chryslist.
Cool. Rob.
Now I'm done.
Okay, I'll start with my wish list, tfradio.net/claylist. Bunch of random manga and pressure cooker attachments and what have you on there.
Swords
also, yes, and video games and just random things, shiny objects that passed my field of vision, which is always a mistake.
Throw a nice thing at Rob. He deserves it.
Thank you. Throw a nice thing at Chris. He also deserves it. But But I am on Twitter at Figure Reviewers and Rob Flails. Rob Flails is the Twitter account for Flail Throughs, my YouTube gaming channel. I cover Gundam Battle Operation 2 primarily, and this week, Just Add Water. Been waiting for this for a while. There have actually been amphibious mobile suits in the game since it launched, and they will now have a place to go. So this is something that has been very much looked forward to, and it should be dropping later tonight. So check out Thursday afternoon on youtube.com/flailthroughs to see how that worked out.
I love the look Brian had when you said that there was amphibious mobile suits but no water. That's why they're amphibious, Brian. They can work on land too. They just don't work very well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But also, if you like what I do over at Flailthroughs, patreon.com/Flailthroughs, you can throw me a couple of bucks and request specific mobile suits and color schemes and weapons and what have you. And that's man, I am totally out of brain now because it's later than it usually is.
You also went out of order because you decided to follow up on my wish list plug, so I think that's throwing you off.
Diecast.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you say me?
No, yes.
You can follow me on Twitter at Diecast2. See all my reviews at tfradio.net/reviews and Facebook at Reviews by Diecast.
Yeah, we're going,
and very shortly you'll find Diecast in bed.
yeah,
Yes.
we're going much later than normal. Let's see here, Don.
Yes, I can be reached on Twitter at HMRC4EVR. There is the Massey Attack list on Amazon. Thanks to Brian, there's a few things on there. If you like looking at those,
I need to add the video game, Don. I need to add the game.
You did.
Oh, did I?
You
Okay.
already did. You did.
Okay.
Also, if you check my time, I do have a few sales up. I'm trying to pay for some of the pre-orders I've got pending. I've got a little crazy lately, but we have a few things up for sale. If you check out my timeline, you'll see pictures and stuff there.
Okay.
So I appreciate that. More will be coming as soon as I can find it.
Cool. Okay. Awesome. I guess that's it. We will see you next week. Have a good one. Okay, recording's done. Hey, people watching live, it's late.
Yeah, no post show, but you'll probably get some extra content this weekend after PulseCon.
I have to go to the other house still for tonight. So we will see you next week. You're awesome. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Take care.